Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Where I Went Wrong. And in this edition of Where I Went Wrong, I said that like I ran those words together. So in this edition of Where I Went Wrong, so am I do the whole intro again? Yes, why not? So welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Where I Went Wrong. So where I went wrong, yeah. And in this edition of Where I Went Wrong, I'll be doing UFC 286, Edwards versus Usman 3. So with this card, I went 8-6, or with like 8-14. I think it was 15 fights, but one of them went to a draw. I forget what fight that is, but hey, it's a little bit irrelevant. Well, yeah, Klein versus Jai Herbert. That was one that went to a draw. Let's focus on L's, not the wins, not the draws. Let's focus on that. Oh yeah, we definitely not focusing on draws. That could go to something else maybe, but again, that draw. If I was gonna be completely honest, that draw would have been an L for me if it wasn't for that low blow. That draw would have been an L because I had Ladova Klein. But hey, lucky that this ended up being a draw and not a decision loss. Then I would have been like 8-7 or something. But I went 8-6. So yeah, with this card I went 8-6 with like 8-13 or 8-14 right there. And yeah, let's get to the first L. The first L was the very first fight on the card. Um, we had Juliana Miller versus Veronica Hardy. And I thought, is the pick bad? No. I mean, in hindsight, it's bad, obviously. Every pick wrong is going to be, in hindsight, kind of bad or very bad or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But looking at the fight as it is, on paper before the fight, pretty good pick. But to go lock or high confidence on that one, that's where, the correcting needs to be done. You don't need to be putting that much confidence in a fighter like that. Because I just feel like this week, what's her name? Yeah, this week or weekend, Juliana Miller was the Dumas of the week. She's the Dumas of the weekend. She kind of like put a lot of confidence in the fighter just because maybe the other fighter isn't as good or something, or isn't that good. So you're like, oh, this fighter's coming up. They look like got good prospects and good talent and whatnot. And she's going to person who really hasn't had the best career. Seems like everything's on her side. Every momentum's on her side. So she should win. That should be enough to put her on. But that should not be enough to put it like high confidence. Maybe with her is like, oh, she was the Ultimate Fighter winner and she looked good. Will look better in her finale, or at least look like one of those fighters who don't have. It's a lot of fighters like that. They got these little sloppy, ugly, terrible, horrendous, garbage, non-existent striking, but they could throw some little flaily punches, get a hold of you and drag you to the mat and punch you with their flaily punches in the face. Maybe a little weak positional TKO or maybe tap you out or something. It's plenty of fighters like that. Michael Chiesa for a lot of his career was that fighter. But he had obviously much better wrestling and much better BJJ and such. But this is women's MMA. This is not men's MMA. But yeah, I thought it will be enough. But I think, and also the fact that Veronica Hardy had been away for all this time. But again, that's not enough to be like, oh, this is a high or this is lock confidence. I gotta stop doing these videos right after I wake up. Like I take a nap like after the car. Like I'm gonna wake up and now I'm gonna make these videos. Maybe I should let my eyes wake up. But hey, time is time. Like time is money, and I'm just gonna like try to get these videos out here like when I can. Maybe down the line when I have better time and stuff. Like, oh, I have this schedule. Like I got so much time open to do this. But yeah, is it right now? It's got to make do what I do. But anyway, like yeah, it should not have been that confident. So I think for the rest of this year, I'm just gonna like I say, who cares what the confidence level is if especially in fights like this, if it's a win or a loss. Like if it wins and loses, it's good. But the issue is putting too much confidence. Then that's when you start to, this is such a high confident pick, and you start to throw, good money, and not just like sprinkle a little, flip a coin on it, like flip a little dime on it, sprinkle a little something on it, instead of going all in, or because you feel like, oh, this is a confident pick, or putting this in a significant parlay. That's when the issues appear or become apparent. But yeah. So with this one, the confidence should have been there, but at least on paper, it looked like a good match. But yeah, for Hardy, for Miller, I feel like she's gonna need a lot of bit of experience. She only like 3-1. That's nothing. That was a big red flag. She's only like 3-1 professionally. I didn't know she had now she's 3-2 professionally, but she had like what 3-4 fights on the Ultimate Fighter, or like three fights on the Ultimate Fighter. And then one that was the finale. Then she got another fight, or like 2 or 3, something like that. 3 exhibition fights, then she had 1 pro fight from Ultimate Fighter, so which made her 3-1. But yeah, just come down like let me give Veronica Harder her props. She made some adjustments, got better arm time off. She didn't just stay stagnant and come back the same fighter. She came back hungry. And on her side, another thing to look at, it was not like she was some 37, 38-year-old journey woman. She was like a 26, 27-year-old young fighter who just wasn't ready. So maybe her time way, she got better. She got better. And that's what she did. She got better. And also, I just don't feel like Juliana Miller for the smartest fight. But again, the better woman won. Veronica Hardy won. How I see both fighters going forward, I can't be like, oh, I'm super high about either woman. I feel, if anything, I feel good that Hardy made improvements, but I don't feel like Miller for the best fight. I don't feel like Miller showed the best skills, and I feel like Miller showed a lot of inexperience. And yeah, I can't really say, oh, this is such a great performance for Hardy. She's going to go on and she's going to thrive in the division. Now, I feel like they both looking like bait right now in the division. And they both got to make some quick adjustments, or they going to get fed to other people for the next couple fights. But yeah, first L. Second L was Joanne Calderwood versus Luana Carolina. And with this one, I just feel like Carolina was. I'm not super high on Carolina. Let me just be honest. This like was like a low confidence. I mean, I say average confidence just to like be a little bit bold with it. But this was just like, hey, I'm trying to find a dog. Joanne Calderwood or Joanne Wood has been looking, like a shell of herself for a long time now. Luana Carolina might not be the best fighter, but you get to a point in your career, you start to lose and skid, and you start to lose the fighters that you shouldn't lose to. And I feel like, oh, Joanne Calderwood hasn't really been mixing grappling. She got 2 takedowns, so good for her as much, and it's going to be a striking matchup. Then maybe Luana Carolina is going, elevate herself and get up for Joanne Calderwood, and come in and show like this is the biggest fight of her career. Come in and improved, and this, just maybe outwork her. I said stop her. Again, that's another bold thing at it. I remember, like, in reality, the decision was the most likely outcome, and then it did end the decision. But yeah, I just thought she was going to get up for her, make those improvements in yourself. But when we don't get up for fighters like that, it kind of just says like, are you ever going to really become a factor? Nah, it kind of sets you in a stone that like, yeah, this fighter is not going to elevate. Joanne was still easy money against like relevant competition. And on Luana Carolina's side, some like she might be some low entry level fighters or stuff like that, but I can't see her beating anyone, probably even at the very end of the top level competition or middle of the pack competition. Like after how she lost this one, I mean, it was a split decision, but yeah, she didn't look very good at all. Like especially going in with a Calderwood who looks like a shell of herself. So yeah, so both those fighters definitely people to looking like bait in their next couple fights. Would kind of extend her career for a little bit now, but I don't think she's 37, declining. So I don't think it's gonna be a case like, oh, in her next couple fights she's gonna get better or anything, or she's gonna fare so much better unless they give her a fighter to the level of Luana Carolina. Maybe then she'll do better. But you're seeing one that's like even on any type of good momentum or any type of potential to be a factor in this division. Like I can't really say I would favor Wood in those matchups. So yeah, second L, that was my second L. Third L was Sam Patterson versus Yashol Ashmov, I believe, or whatever his name is. But I'm gonna say Ashmov. I'm not gonna say his whole name because I probably butchering his. Matter of fact, I'm butchering both his names. I'm gonna say Ashmov. Yeah, Sam Patterson. I know in the past he had a chinny issue. I didn't think Ashmov really could reach him on top like that, but hey, you learn something, you live and you learn. It's not like, well, I did put high comp, so that was another case where I put high comp. Do I feel all that bad about that one? I don't, to be honest. But maybe my true confidence wasn't exactly high, but hey, I sold it as high and it went as high and it ended up playing out way differently. So yeah, got to own up to it. It is what it is. Got burnt in that one. But yeah, Sam Patterson, well, I guess Ashmov's going to show that he's a much better talent than I predicted and I expected. So going forward, I think he does have a much higher ceiling. I'm super amazed by his little TikTok videos of him doing spinning kicks and backflips and stuff. I'm not really impressed. I still think the guy's not going to go very far, to be honest. Like, no insult to him. I just don't see nothing all that impressive from him. But he was able to take advantage of Patterson's tall guy defense and touch his chin on top. And yeah, catch him not really using those feet and just kind of leaning, knock him out. So impressive for him. It definitely I'm not to say that it doesn't raise Ashmov's what's it called, stocks for me. Definitely it raises it a lot. I'm saying the lightweight division is so deep, and it's not like anything he's done is so impressive. To be honest, that's what I'm saying. It's not like so impressive. That, oh, this guy's gonna rise with the ranks. I'm not saying that, but it's definitely enough to probably get him up like 30 fights. I mean, like 30 rankings or something. Because so like what, like 150 fighters and 150 plus fighters in lightweight division, so he could definitely rise up. But that cream of the crop, I don't know about that. But Patterson, like, he probably could eke by a couple fights, depending. But his stocks definitely dropped significantly from this one. So yeah, I might shoot with this one. I guess like again, like putting confidence in a match where you don't really know that guy. Like I just seen like very little tape on Ashmouth and like I'm not impressed. And I kind of got more tape, especially because I watched with the Contender Series and watched some other fights, so I saw more Sam Patterson. So like you can see the flaws of Sam Patterson. You can't really see the strengths or the weaknesses Ashmouth. But also like I feel like maybe the stylistic match that they did fight didn't really give him those areas. Also, I feel like he made some improvements and got better between this fight and his last fight, or his this fight and his other fights. So yeah, we going with these dealing with these newer faces. It's like the outcomes are more volatile. And I think I'm not even gonna say that's like a loss or anything, or win or loss. Is that there was two key matchups that I feel like I should have put even more confidence in, like really, like Jack Shore versus Makman Americani. Should have put even more confidence. I don't know if I did lock. I think I did put lock for Jack Shore, but I'm talking about it. I could have probably like legit max bet Jack Shore, like legit max bet Jack Shore. It was like a really limited chance Makwan Americani was gonna win that fight at all, and it played out exactly like all Makwan Americani fights, so especially all his losses. So that could have been a max bet, and especially like a in the distance max bet. And I should maybe put a little bit more confidence in my prediction of submission. That should be another thing. And maybe I should have drawn it back to the second round. I think I said third round, so second round probably would have been better, but should have been max bet in the distance. That would have been smart. And Nelson submission was like plus 100. That should have been max bet. First round, second round, I don't know, but at plus 100 could have max bet Nelson sub. That should have been pretty easy, and it was pretty easy. But like put a little sprinkle on that, put a little unit on that instead of putting multiple units on that, or max betting unit. That should have been that's stuff like, and yeah, that would have been a smarter move, or it should have been the clear moves, or the picks you should have invested in, or stuff like that. But yeah, anywho, so third L. Now fourth L was King Courtney Casey versus Jennifer Maya. And I don't feel like this pick on paper was all that bad, to be honest. I don't feel like it was all that bad. I mean, it wasn't bad at all on paper, to be honest. And this one, I feel like I was a little bit storytelling with this one and kind of just relying on volume. But Maya showed they had the better skill. Courtney Casey could put the volume up, but she did still ultimately got outvalued. It was like 137 to 145. So Maya outvalued her. She didn't. Courtney Casey didn't throw 200 strikes like she did against Matafari, but obviously Maya is better than Matafari. And also, I think it's been some time since Courtney Casey fought last or whatnot. Ultimately, it was still a close fight in some senses, but it was a clear winner. Like close volume, but clear winner. Maya landed with more authority. She landed cleaner. She landed the better technique. Cleaner, better technique, more volume, more authority, and she got her hand raised. And she won the fight with like 30-27 shutout on most cards. But I was kind of leaning to like, oh, these women going to grapple. And in this fight, it could have been a clear decision. That could have been an easy fight right there because it's not like I didn't see Courtney Casey getting stopped. Maya doesn't get stopped. I don't think Courtney Casey has ever been stopped. Don't quote me on that. I know Maya, I don't think she has ever been stopped, at least not in the UFC. So that was a clear decision fight. So instead of picking a necessary winner in a fight that might have been tight, this straight up pick a decision made for a little bit less value would have been like, oh, that's lock right there. Lock value. And maybe could not say max bet, maybe like half max or 2 units or something, but nonetheless, it is what it is. I think ultimately, Maya, yeah, just a better fighter. And I was kind of leaning to like her to what's that I've seen a lot of younger women in this division start to shine. I thought Courtney Casey would do the same, but obviously, I guess was not her time yet, or maybe she won't have a time. But And also Jennifer Maia still showing that her time is not over yet. So good win for Jennifer Maia. King Courtney Casey, still a solid fighter, but got to work on her striking, maybe work on her grappling or her takedown. So maybe like in cases where she's not having success in the striking, maybe she can do better, or at least against higher level opponents. I mean, obviously against lower level competition, she had that in her ability to get those takedowns, or maybe fighters that don't have the best grappling, she has the ability to get the takedown. But when you're going with other fighters who have the grappling you have and maybe better striking, you got to find a way to, take some time off the clock, get some control or something to mix the fight up. So, got to find a way to mix it up at a higher level. So I think she's going to get better from that. Jennifer Maia, I think both fighters will get better from this. And I think both fighters can likely win their next fight. But then again, Jennifer Maia, the division's so small, they're probably going to put her in there with like a killer. Maybe put her in there with Talia Santos next or something. Yeah, so she getting up in a bad position in her next fight. But, as long as they don't put her in with a true killer, I think she could win her next fight. And I think Courtney Casey, they're going to give her a step down, and she could definitely win her next fight. So yeah, so that's the 4th L. Now 5th L, this is a big L. Jeremy, what's his name? Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. And this is like the 5th L. And with this one, I put a whole lot of confidence in Rafael Fiziev. I really have been thinking Justin Gaethje has been on decline, lost his hunger and stuff. Like, this guy just, I didn't feel like after the Khabib fight, I just feel like, yes, he's still like not really losing every single fight. He lost to Khabib, then he beat I think took some time, like bit of time off. I think it was like over a year off. Then he beat Michael Chandler, and then I think he got a rematch, or I forget how. I think he beat Michael Chandler, and then he got a rematch against Charles Oliveira. Got finished, and then I just feel like maybe this guy isn't as hungry anymore. Maybe this guy isn't the same anymore. Now he's like stalling, picking fights, and I feel like for a period of time he wasn't trying to fight Fiziev. So he fought him. They went to a dog fight, and Justin Gaethje came out. It was a decision. Ultimately, I think it was like a split decision maybe, or something, split unanimous majority decision. I forget what it was. I ain't even going. Don't quote me. Obviously, it don't matter. The guy who won is Justin Gaethje. So no matter how he cut it, Gaethje won. But I just feel like the hunger wasn't there. I feel like he was ducking. He was getting to that point in his career where he was ducking, the fighters that are actually come up in the division, like the newer blood in the division, the new money. He's ducking those people and just trying to stick in that little small bubble. We get to that point in your career like any of these other guys will kill me outside this bubble. But hopefully I can stick in this bubble and maybe win one fight and get another title shot or something like that. And hopefully maybe I could get a title shot and win it in these 2 fights that are going outside the bubble. Have to go stack 3 wins against some real killers who are probably better than some of the guys in the bubble. These younger guys, these better guys, but he went out there. It wasn't looking good for him early. It wasn't looking good for him in the middle, but somehow he started to get that second half of that middle and just ride with it through the 3rd round and win the 3rd round and get his hand raised. So good on Gaethje to get that win. I guess with Fiziev, maybe it's a pacing issue, or maybe he didn't expect him to be there as much. I feel like it has been fights I think where he started to fade in fights where he had competitive striking matchups. I feel in the Bobby Green fight he kind of faded in the 3rd round. I think in Mark Ducase's fight he faded in the 3rd round. So maybe those were signs to say, he could fade. But I feel like he would got Gaethje out, especially a Gaethje I feel who wasn't as motivated anymore and who wasn't there anymore. And also I feel like Fiziev was a good stylistic matchup, or better, had a better stylistic matchup. Like Gaethje doesn't have the best takedown offense, or he doesn't mix it in as much. It's not like his grapplers any big threat. Like, he gonna submit me, he gonna ground and pound. But he might take me down and get a little point off it, but even if he does get a takedown, he ain't gonna do nothing with it. So and I can get right back up. So his wrestling really ain't a factor at all. A big part of his game is kicks, and Fiziev was a high-level Thai fighter, so he was a high-level striker in general. So he not gonna have no issues with his kicks at all, or maybe no big issue. And if anything, Gaethje probably have issues with trying to kick Fiziev. Probably be slipping and sliding out of kicks and counter kicking him and stuff, or sliding lead leg back and he just tear him up, high-level kicking, I guess, or high-level Muay Thai and stuff. And don't take away Gaethje's best tools and have Gaethje swinging wild like he was against Charles Oliveira, and also against Khabib bit. And I feel Fiziev would be able to take advantage of it more on the feet, but he had his moments and stuff. But ultimately, Gaethje showed heart and showed that he still wants to be here, still wants to win. Fiziev, I feel like he got to take this as a lesson and not an L, and try to push harder in those later rounds, or try to push that same pace for 3 rounds and not dip off. Well, make some adjustments because he he got to the high level. He got a fight he'd been chasing. He lost, but did he get ran over? No, but he had it in his hand. Like, oh, I'm about to win this fight. It didn't slip. Like, you gotta fix up. Why did it slip? Why did this guy do this? And make adjustments. But again, Gaethje showed improvements, and Gaethje looked probably better in the striking department than he had looked in a long time. Maybe the best he's ever looked in the striking department, especially going in with probably the most credentialed striker he has ever fought. So good win for Gaethje. And yeah. But let's look at the negative for this fight is we probably gonna get the same exact fights we've been getting for a while. We're probably gonna get Poirier versus Gaethje, or we're gonna get one of those Poirier or Gaethje's fed to Islam Makhachev, and they both probably gonna be like the people you just feed to the champion. Like Khabib beat Poirier and Gaethje. Charles Oliveira beat Poirier and Gaethje. Now Islam Makhachev gonna beat Poirier and Gaethje. And guess what? They're gonna get submitted again. Submitted by Khabib, submitted by Oliveira. Now we're gonna get submitted by Makhachev. So we keep getting the same rotating. Like, I really want both these guys to get knocked out, get it over with, maybe to start going to bare knuckle boxing or something, like, and still exciting us. But I'm tired of seeing the same rotation in the division. Also, they're gonna hold the division of these guys not gonna be fighting as much, fighting like 1 or 2 fights a year or 1 fight a year. And like not really interesting matches for the champion or new blood in the ranking. So I don't like that factor. But hey, Gaethje won, so it don't matter about what you like. If you win, you win. So that's what happened. Like, plenty of fighters win fights that maybe for whatever reason you don't want them to win. Like, I want this guy to win because I put money on this. I want this guy to win because it's just I just want to see this guy who I feel actually is a good stylistic matchup for the champion get up to fight champion, but not like, hey, the guy that's actually easy money for the champion, hey, he win again. He gonna be there, be easy money for the champion. He gonna lose again. But hey, maybe that'd be easy money for me too. Cause let me see. Well, like now in the future, not as a younger adult, like when not putting money on stuff. Like, wait, what did I get out of that? This guy gonna keep putting on lackluster performance in the championship fights, and I get nothing from it. But hey, you gonna want to get back there so bad. Max bet you losing that one. Max bet you getting submitted because that's just where your tracks, your railroad tracks end right there. Against the champions that have grappling, submitted. Now, I guess another thing I can look at that fight is, to this point, and even now, Justin Gaethje has not lost to a one-dimensional fighter. Eddie Alvarez is a full mixed martial artist. Poirier is a full mixed martial artist. Khabib is a full mixed martial artist. Charles Oliveira is a full mixed martial artist. Fiziev might train everything, but in reality, at this level, and what he has always shown, he's a striker. He's not a wrestler. He's not a BJJ. He's a striker. So that's another thing. So has Gaethje ever lost to a one-dimensional fighter? And until this time now, he has not. So maybe going forward, if he gets a striker match, or less, maybe like he starts to look really declined, and it's some real amazing strike come up, like, oh, I just gotta go against Gaethje here. But like Gaethje's not going to lose to a one-dimensional striker just yet, I guess, or maybe ever. Maybe he lose to Makhachev if he does get to that point, and lose to Makhachev if he gets to that point, and then maybe retires or maybe stick around. But I feel like he loses to another title fight. I feel like, what's the point? But yeah, I talked about that matchup too much. Now let's do the final fight: Edwards versus Usman 3, or Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman 3. Yeah. I guess we just want the safest way to do these matchups like this is just to lean to the guy who won last. What they said, 3 of 14 or 3 of the last 14 fighters who challenged for their title of all time, something like that. Most times, only been like 3 of them who actually went back and won that belt. One of them been Amanda Nunes. Yeah, but only one of them have actually. I mean, not one. Only like 3, 4, 5. So way less than half have actually won their belts back. I thought Usman could be one of those guys to win his belt back. I feel like he did a good job in the first fight, and in the second fight, and though he could make adjustments and win this one, but I feel like Edwards made good adjustments, and maybe Usman wasn't as sharp. Maybe he was the one who wasn't as confident. By the way, Edwards for the stuff like more than half his takedown. I think Usman only had 4 takedowns. He had 5 minutes of control time. Also got a point deducted. Edwards did. So hey, did some good points. Thing like he got a takedown, won some good rounds. But ultimately, I feel like Edwards was able to create distance, outland him, outpoint him, and be the sharper striker. And Usman wasn't able to execute his game plan of smother him like I was expecting. And he did try to execute the game plan, try to go for the takedowns, try to make the cage small. But Edwards did a good job to spin him off and get away and get to distance and land the cleaner shots and mix it up well. Mix it high, low, leg, body, up top. And we just showed that he's a sharper striker, which we all knew. And he did a good job to defensively wrestling. And then also he didn't try to grapple with Usman too much. I think he went for like 2 takedowns. So that's definitely different than my prediction. I thought Usman could lure him into a grappling approach a little bit more. And then from there he could have success in the grappling more. Like maybe Edwards having a little bit of success in grappling might, convince him. Like, people start going into drill mode. You start to grapple, they start to have a little bit of success in grappling, they start to do dumb stuff. Like, people start jumping on guillotines. People start trying to go for their own takedowns. People start doing different things because, like, oh, I have success in this in the gym. They go in autopilot and do dumb stuff. And I feel like Usman could have exploited that. But Edwards just, I feel, for the most part, try to mix a couple of takedowns, maybe like 2, 3, not a whole lot. And just feel like my path to victory is just to get to distance and show that I'm the more technical striker. And that's what he did. Still a very close, relatively close fight. But Edwards fought to his strengths and really prevented Usman from getting to his. And as far as, I guess, prediction standpoint, if you just want to go statistically wise, the easiest money is always going to be leaning to the woman or guy who won their last fight. Unless it's like, oh, the guy had the Goku heart virus or something in the last fight. That's why he wasn't this. But if both guys were healthy and whatnot, but like I said, it was a case where Usman was winning large majority of their last fight. So is it a bad pick? It's not. But I guess the statistically safest pick or smartest pick is the guy or gal who won. And in this case, probably should lean Edwards. And also on the dog side, the guy who won was a dog. So probably another more reason to lean Edwards. The odds of winning were lower for Usman. Yet the betting odds had Usman as the favorite. So smarter money should have been on Edwards all through. But hey, I was just really leaning off historics and more so not statistics. So it is what it is. It's L. House fighters, both fighters going forward. I feel like I don't see either guy. Well, I don't think Usman's ever gonna be champion again. And I probably feel like he should probably fight a couple more fights maybe, then retire. Because I don't see him. I feel like he could possibly beat Shavkat. I don't think he beats Khamzat. He might be able to beat a couple of these guys coming up. Like, he could definitely beat a lot of these other guys coming up, but those two definitely stick out. Khamzat and Shavkat, those could be tough matches for him. I think he could beat Shavkat. I don't think he beat Khamzat, but who knows? Maybe he says it's the other way around. I could beat Khamzat, but I can't beat Shavkat, but I don't know. Either way, I don't really see no real championship prospects for him anymore. I think he had a great, amazing career, but I think it's time to call it quits before he starts to just hang around and become Tyron Woodley, maybe. Then that could be a very bad look. I just feel like you had your time. No need to stick around and keep taking losses. You achieve what you achieve, and just walk off to the sunset. And this right now is the prettier section of it when you just losing a relatively close competitive decision. Instead of when you start to get this mollywop for 5 rounds, or you get knocked out or tapped out or something, and you start to lose more motivation, lose more confidence. You just try to stick around and rekindle the old you are. You're like, I want to be the old Kamaru Usman, but in this case, you're getting older. That's a big factor. And the other guys are getting better. So it ain't about becoming the old Usman or the old this guy, the old guy. You got to evolve. You can't. Being old is going to make you look even older. You go like an old version of the you in your prime, and that's not going to really do you the best, and really don't do the most people the best. So, yeah, Usman, I think retirement should be right around the corner. Edwards, I think he can stick around. I think he could probably win one more time. I think he could beat Kobe, get that one defense on Kobe. Maybe beat Bilal Muhammad. Bilal Muhammad gets the title shots. I think he beat those 2 people. He can beat those 2 people. And then the Khamzats and the Shavkats, I think those will beat him. I think Khamzat definitely beats him. I think Shavkat beat him, but we have to see. I want to see how if he fights. Well, if he fights Kobe and Bilal next and could beat them, then judging off those fights, I might say, maybe he can't do it. I think he can beat Shavkat. I feel like he's overall more sound than Shavkat. I feel like Shavkat has a lot of technical issues, but on Khamzat, on the side of Khamzat, we don't know about his cardio. I feel like even in some of the earlier fights, he showed cardio issues. And then in the Gil Burns fight, we saw cardio issues. Obviously, he won those fights, but imagine going in 5 rounds and the takedown not coming like you want to expect to come. And then obviously, I feel like, Shavkat, Khamzat, the rounds. And I feel like Leon Edwards is a much better striker than Khamzat. Obviously, Khamzat got more power, but technically wise, Leon Edwards is leagues above him. Brutal in the clinch as well. And if he could stuff the takedown, get in clinch, maybe elbow him, exit out, maybe some knees to body, disengage, and just pick him apart from distance, it could be a bad night for Combs, especially down the stretch. If he can't, I don't feel like he's gonna have really much in those championship rounds unless he makes some adjustments. But if he don't make those adjustments, I feel like Edwards could potentially drown him. That could be his path to beat him, like drowning Shavkat. And he, from drowning him, he could knock him out or TKO him, submit him. Because Edwards' grappling's underrated as well, especially we've seen this one. Might say that, oh, Edwards didn't look that good, or Usman looks like a shell himself. But Edwards has constantly been working on his grappling and his wrestling defense, and is not a one-dimensional fighter. He's not just a one-dimensional striker. So all these people trying to call him out, I feel like Edwards can definitely shock him. Well, Islam Makhachev want to call him out. Combs, I want to call him out. All these people want to call him out now, maybe thinking, oh, he's a guy that he's a striker. We could get an easy win over him and win a belt or double champ. But don't sleep on Edwards. Edwards can definitely win these fights. But do I think he can really reign for a long-term champion? I'm not saying that, but hey, he can definitely win those fights. So it would not know, oh, easy money, these guys are going to beat him. Maybe easy money comes out, Chimaev and Shavkat will beat Usman and Kobe now. But Edwards right now, he's still improving and evolving as a fighter, and only gonna get more confident with each fight, better with each fight. So we'll see about that. So that's the fight. I mean, that's not the fight. That's the card. That's my L's. Went 8-6, 8 of 14, or you can say overall 8 of 15, or yeah, 8-6-1 because one was a draw. But just focus on L's, the WL ratio or win-loss ratio. So 8-6. Yeah, that's the card. Not the best card, but we move and go to another card and just look to do better and maybe kind of hold off on some of this high confidence on fighters that are like 3 fights or 4 fights or just completely unproven for now. And just look to find more success and re-strategize, recalibrate, and come back here and get back to destroying these cards and wrecking these cards and not just like, oh, I did okay. I did good. I did okay. I won't say I did good. I did great. I had a phenomenal card. That's what I want to get back to. So solid card, still in the plus, but I want to be in the plus, you know. So that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.